This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. To pre-order Aetherdrift, use my link in the description. Alright, so doing our very first draft of Aetherdrift. Thanks to Wizards of the Coast for inviting me to the streamer event. Full Throttle's like a complete dud of a rare, like extra combat phase things always are, so it's not really where we want to be. 4 mana 2/2 seems like too much of a hurdle for the strategist to be good. Cards I'm interested in here include the Refueler, which is definitely the kind of card where actually knowing how good it is without playing is tough. Cloudspire Coordinator is really strong, but gold. I do like Leonin Surveyor as far as commons go. Seems like a really good way to enable speed. It's good attacker, and it can give you a 2-for-1 eventually. I'm sort of thinking Refueler, partly because I'm really curious about the card. And there's not anything in this pack. I mean, it may be that you just take the gold uncommon in this format first, but I have a pretty good feeling of how this card's going to work. I'm much less sure about exhausting and stuff like that. So, yeah. Yeah, let's go with the Refueler. Let's see what happens. See if we get some more exhaust stuff. Well, doing the vanilla thing is certainly interesting with Fang Druid Summoner. I don't think we're going to do it here. It's not that easy to set up is part of the problem. Like, if I thought I could force it and it would work, then I probably would. Probably just take Lightning Strike. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm leaning. It's just a great card. Curious to see how Back on Track plays. It does have lots of good targets, and there's lots of cycling. And Gallant Strike is good, but I don't think I want either of these green cards. I think we'd rather have Lightning Strike than Gallant Strike, that's for sure. It's funny, you know, our first pick is a card where I'm like, how good is this exactly? Which, you know, I think I gave it a C+ in the set review, and that is sort of what I think, but in terms of, like, the level of confidence about that, it's pretty hard to know since it's such a mechanic specific card, whereas Lightning Strike is just, like, always good, so... Okay, we've got some interesting options here. I like Adrenaline Jockey a reasonable amount. Just, you know, it is an exhaust payoff, which red-green is supposed to be an exhaust deck. Molt Tender is probably better in, like, black-green, where you're going to be better at loading the graveyard, but it can load the graveyard all on its own, and, you know, it takes a turn most of the time in limited. You know, you're not going to produce mana with it on turn 2 in most cases. At least you're not going to get a boost to, like, 3 mana. You might spend 1 mana, put a card in the graveyard, and then... you know, spend 2 on something else, but that's not nearly as powerful. I'm sort of thinking Jockey. You know, works really well with Elvish Refueler, obviously enough, and I just think it's a good card in general. I do like Maximum Overdrive and Nimble Thopterist, but let's take the Jockey. Maybe we will force exhaust. Somebody before we started the draft said I should. You know, the way our first 2 picks went, I wasn't really forcing it, but it kind of feels like that's where we're headed. Okay. So Prowcatcher Specialist is fine. I think Canyon Vaulter's quite good. I like the Rambler a reasonable amount. Mostly because it gives you a body up front, and this is really good at crewing. Yeah, I mean, I don't love the Specialist, and I don't love either of these green cards. I mean, the Vanguard's not bad. You know, it has an ability that's useful late. And there are cards that help you produce mana for activated abilities, and while you'll mostly use those for exhaust, you can use it on this too. Don't love Silken Strength. I mean, I definitely think the Vaulter is better than the Specialist, but I think the Specialist is pretty solid. Should I take the white card? I mean, I think it's enough better that I kind of want to. You know, it's hard not to do it, I think. See, the Blue Road. I do like the roads. Taking them sometimes in a pack like this, you know, pick 6 is probably not completely insane, but it's not amazing either. We do have a pretty good green card. I mean, I'm pretty high on this creature just because if it was always 5 mana for a 2/2 and 3/3, I'd think it was a solid card. And it's significantly better because you can play it on 1, it can crew, can do your exhaust payoff things, and you can, of course, pay in installments too, which is a significant difference. I do think the Rambler, again, is pretty good. These other 2 white cards are just okay. I think the Scurryfoot might just be the best card in this pack. I mean, I do like the Engineer okay, too, but I think we'll take the Scurryfoot. Yeah, I do like the 2-mana 2/2 that makes a treasure when it attacks. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't think this card is really going to work in limited. Broken Wings, I do think is main deck material, but I don't love the idea of taking it here. Ticket Tortoise, I think, is going to be surprisingly useful, especially in like the artifact deck. But Momentum Breaker is probably the best card in this pack, but we haven't taken any black cards yet. The mechanic's okay. I mean, I think I'd take it. You know, we're not locked in anywhere, and the Breaker is a good card. Like, start your engines, plus Edict, plus some incidental life gain is kind of a lot for what it is. Okay. Another Reef Roads. We do have a Bleachbone Verge, and they are pretty good lands. This is a card I'm interested to see how good I think it is. I feel like it's a little too one-dimensional, even a vehicle set, but it's also the kind of card where I could easily be wrong about it because it's so, you know, specific. Yeah, I mean, I think we just take a Jaguar. It's not exciting, but I think it's better than Broken Wings at this point. And I do like the Verges. If I was, like, legit in one of these colors, I'd probably take it, but I don't know that I am, so. This is a pretty late Signpost uncommon for one that's this powerful. We don't have much going on when it comes to blue or white, though. Yeah, this pack, we're kind of getting signals that red-green is probably not what I should be doing, I think. The Path Cruiser is cool. I would love if this card worked. It would mean the format is grindy. You know, searching up a land, eventually turns into a win condition. The Assailant's okay, but I think we're going to take this Signpost and see what happens. It's just strong enough that I feel like taking it and seeing what happens. All right, I do like Dynamite Diver. I think people are underrating it. It just does so much for one. Like, 1 mana, 1/1, pings when it dies, is an okay card. Like, you know, trades off with things that cost more than it does. It's like a nightmare if you have 2x1s in play. And then it's really good at crewing and saddling. So, I think I like the sound of all of that. Do I want a Gunner more than a Jaguar? Probably. Weird signals, because we did get some very reasonable red cards there late in. Here's a reasonable green card that I think we take. So, like, the middle of that pack was looking a little sketchy, but now I kind of feel like we had an okay first pack for a red-green deck. I mean, I don't think it was incredible, but it was fine. I mean, it kind of looks like... I kind of like how it's alternating right now between red-green. It's very satisfying. I guess we'll take Silken Strength. This doesn't help us at all. I mean, we could end up in a different color pair and then it would help us, but yeah. We did just ruin the alternating card thing, but, you know, that's okay. It's not that important. These are both okay. I mean, I think we'll take the Engineer, 2 mana, 1/3 flyer that can exhaust. Oh, man. I mean, it's good to open her. She's incredibly strong, but anytime you're, like, not in her color at all, although I guess we did pick up a couple things there late, she's one of the biggest bombs in the set, I think. Like, she's insane. Gives you an easy 2-for-1 up front, more or less, and can draw you even more cards. So I think we take her. Right now, like, being green and splashing for Lightning Strike, green-blue splash Lightning Strike, doesn't sound too bad to me. But yeah, she's strong enough that we take her and see what happens. Like, we're not giving up that much in our colors in this pack anyway. Like, what we're missing out on, like, the most exciting thing is probably the Scurryfoot. These two are sort of okay, and Muyan Ling is, like, miles ahead of everything. So we will take her, and hopefully this does put... Oh, now we get a Market Backwalker. Okay. That'll make our deck no matter what. You almost always get a good deal on it. Even if you spend 1 on X, it's like okay. And if you spend 2 or more, it's kind of nuts. So yeah, we'll take the Market Backwalker. It's not quite Hanger Backwalker, but it's good. It's also an artifact for Muyan Ling. And Guidelight Pathmaker, should that come up. Guidelight Pathmaker can tutor this up. Okay. Someone would probably be excited about the Regal Imperiosaur. All right, so, I mean, Broadside Barrage is real good. I don't feel super confident about being in blue-red, but I guess it's not completely insane. Like, yeah, it's not insane at all, actually. The green cards we have, none of them are, like, incredible. So I think we take the Barrage here. I mean, we could take Imperiosaur and try to be blue-green. I don't hate that idea. Yeah, maybe we're just supposed to take the Imperiosaur and lean into blue-green. Yeah, it's good enough. I think we take it. We do have one card that makes never mind, it makes an elephant. Defend the Rider's not bad. Hazard of the Dunes isn't bad. So, like, in an ideal world, I think our deck ends up being blue-green and we splash Lightning Strike. Because that's, like, the only card that I really feel bummed out about not having. I'm leaning towards Defend the Rider. It just does a lot for 1 mana. Protects a creature. It's the most powerful mode, but the other one's fine. Howler's Heavy's not bad either, but I'm leaning towards Defend the Rider over these other things. All right, so a few good red cards here, but we'll take Venom Sac Lagak, I think. It's an okay 2-drop. It's not exciting, but trades off with anything. When saddled, it can even attack pretty well. Windscarred Crag doesn't help us much. I guess it could put the Pathmaker in play. But I think we take Venom Sac Lagak. Okay, so here's something that makes me happy that we're in blue-green, is the Signpost Uncommon with an Exhaust ability. I do love this Sloth. I think it's going to wreck people, but obviously we're not in white, but it's probably the best card in this pack, at least accounting for how challenging this is to cast. But yeah, we'll happily take this. Would like some fixing. Pothole Mole is kind of fixing, and I think it's okay, so it's what we'll take here. The Optimizer's not terrible, but right now, we're not that good with artifacts. It does give us one, which, okay, maybe that's actually just worth it, especially with Muyan Ling. Like, the more 2 and 3 mana artifacts we have, the better, probably. I do like this Wicker Folk a fair bit for a little 2-drop, but yeah, let's take the Optimizer. Okay, don't love Scrap Compactor. Sarcophagus isn't bad, but I feel like you kind of have to be in a speed deck to really want it. This is not great as a Windrake, but, like, it's better in this deck. I mean, it is a flyer for Muyan Ling in addition to a flyer just being good, but... Another Stampeding Scurryfoot. I think I'm on board with that. Not just because it's a mouse, although that certainly doesn't hurt. If we were doing really well with artifacts, Memory Guardian would be a pick. I do like Spectral Interference, but I'd rather have a more proactive card than a reactive one when I think they're comparable. I think they're both pretty good commons. But I think I like Scurryfoot a little more. Plus, we have a little bit of, what's it called? Exhaust stuff going on, so... We'll take this Trick. It might make the cut. It probably doesn't, but it might. Okay, I don't really want to play more than one Glitch Ghost Surveyor if I can help it, I don't think, but we'll take it. Again, you know, if I had 2 Muyan Lings, I probably would. Because she's good with flyers, not just artifacts. These 2 cards are both terrible, so I'm glad nobody took them. They're both so bad and limited. Unplayable. Yeah, I like this card, of course. There are gonna be times where your opponent kills it with, like, an incidental ping, which are gonna suck. But there aren't that many ways to do that, you know. Boommobile, that's a rare. So, they're around. Yeah, red is probably pretty open. I think both of these are legit red cards. But I like where we are. I'll probably play a main deck Broken Wings. Ooh, we get a second Market Back Walker. I think that means we want to lean real hard and a little harder into ramp, probably, but we don't have to. But I think this card's really good. I do like Nimble Thopterist a lot. Glory Heath Lynx is very strong. If the Walker weren't here, I'd probably take the Thopterist. But yeah, we're going to take the Walker. If this format's crazy fast, it might be worse than I'm expecting, but it's real good. So, you know. If the format's even medium speed, it's going to be really good. You know, it is interesting to play Guidelight Pathmaker if we get the mana for that too. Right now we can't even splash Lightning Strike, so this is wishful thinking, but Another Scurry Foot. This Verge doesn't help our mana situation. Lifecraft Engine. Do we have a bunch of any creature types? Not really, but we have a, you know, you can just name like the creature type you have the most of, and I think it feels pretty good. So it's probably just what we take here. It is probably what we want to take here. Thank you for the follow, Flash of Brilliance. Yeah, we'll take Lifecraft Engine. I do like Trip Up and Keen Buccaneer, but yeah. Let's take another rare. It's good to play with a bunch of rares to get a feel for a new format. Samet's really strong, but we have no hope of playing Samet in our deck. So, don't love Stall Out. Transit Mage. We don't have any good targets for it, so we probably leave it. Skystreak Engineer's not bad. Scoured Barons doesn't help us. I do like the Ketradon, but I don't think we're hurting that much for like a top-of-the-curve monster, but maybe we are. It's not like we need... We're doing well on low drops, so I'd probably just take the Ketradon here. It's a nice card for stabilizing. Yeah, it is true that Skystreak is a flyer, but I think we have enough of those, and we can't like rely on always getting her, that I think she's fine. Probably take Spectral Interference here, definitely do. I think there's some potential to try to mill people out with this, but I think you need a more controlling build than where we've ended up. So I think we go with Spectral Interference. It does get interesting with our card that lets us use exhaust abilities more than once, I guess, but you know, if you don't get that combo, it's going to be pretty bad. So we'll just take Spectral Interference. It is not looking good for our Lightning Strike, is it? It's very sad. Very sad. Another Venom Sack Lagak. Ticket Tortoise is interesting when we've got market backwalkers and stuff going on now. Is it better than Venom Sack Lagak is? Probably not. It is a tap ability, but you can use it one turn and then use it on another turn, unlike most of those abilities. These are hard to cast, but I have to imagine there's someone in green-white who should have taken it by now. But I guess if there's not, like, you just can't take it at this stage of the draft. We will take the Hazard. I'm worried we're a little low on removal, but, you know, what are we going to do? Foul Roads. I think this card's probably pretty good. We'll take Surveyor. Do I like a Wreck Mover more? Probably not. It's not like I have that many artifact payoffs. Yeah, Bounce Off. Or Mole. If I had more graveyard stuff, I think I'd be in on the Mole. I think we'll take a bounce spell. Lets us rebuy our own exhaust abilities, potentially. Yeah, I don't want Ooze Patrol. Don't think the Mustang... Well, yeah, we'll take an Optimizer. The Optimizers, another Stampeding Scurryfoot. Yeah, I mean, I think it's better than Glitch Ghost Surveyor. I don't know that I want that many of them, but we'll see. There's kind of a funny combo where we can have the Imperiosaur in play and then play Lifecraft Engine and make everything a dinosaur. That'd be pretty sweet. So, our vehicles would be dinosaurs anyway. So, yeah, the one thing we don't have that I'd like more of is removal, for sure. But I think that definitely means we're playing Broken Wings, for example. I don't like those speed lands. Like, they're horrible for your mana base, especially when you have no fixing like us. And especially when we're not in a speed deck, they are really underwhelming. Like, even once you get max speed on any of them, they're not that useful in limited. Okay, so let's see here. Who's getting the axe? I mean, don't love Silken Strength. There is removal in this set for sure. We just didn't get it. I mean, we had a lightning strike. We just can't play it because our mana's terrible. I mean, Market Back Walker is kind of a 4-drop. I think that's sort of where you start to feel good about casting it, is at 4. So I'm going to stick it there. I don't love the Surveyors. I mean, we're not going to be that good at speed, and they have such a bad stat line. Like, they can't block or attack well, and they die to 1-mana stuff. So even with Muyan Ling, I mean, I'm at least cutting 1. But we have other flyers that are way better. So it's not like we need them. And our vehicles will gain flying. Although, I guess we only have 1 vehicle, huh? I like the Surveyor more. It's got a better stat line overall. Can probably cut Bestow Greatness. I mean, I guess in a world where we don't have a ton of removal, maybe it's a good idea to have more tricks. But the ones that cost this much are pretty sketchy. Like, especially because our deck isn't exactly an aggro deck. So I think we probably cut it. I think I'm going to play with all 3 of these because I think it looks like a pretty good card. Kind of need to run Bounce Off since we have so little interaction. We have mounts, you know, just not that many vehicles, which is specifically what Muyan Ling likes, unlike a lot of cards in the set. She doesn't give mounts flying, just vehicles. Hazard of the Dunes is certainly not exciting, but it's okay. I think we probably cut another Surveyor. And then I don't think we've ever had +4/+4 trample straight up for 2 mana before. We have had +3/+3 trample for 2, but I think it's somewhere in between, you know, that amount of mana. So a Hazard of the Dunes is kind of where I'm leaning, but maybe I should lean more on Surveyor when we're not that good at speed. Yeah, probably should. So we do have a bit of ramp for our Market Back Walkers. The 2 Optimizers and the Sky and the Seeker can get it done. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Excited to play with 2 Market Back Walkers and see how they fare. Same for Lifecraft Engine. Muyan Ling is, I think, more obviously an insane bomb. So I did give this an A- in the set review, but if a format is too fast, like, it's going to have some problems. I wish I'd picked up 1 duel, but every time we saw one, it was like never one we needed. It was very sad. It was very sad. Well, I mean, the Jaguar is okay. I guess I could see cutting it. You're right. I could see cutting it and putting back in the 3/3. I mean, I think this is a solid playable even when you don't have the synergy, but I think we could use more higher curve things enough that I think I'm going to leave it like this. All right. Well, let's see how this goes. All right, well, we got a pretty good opening hand, I think, thanks to our having this 2-drop Lifecraft Engine. I wonder, it might be better to play Venom Sac Lagak first. It's a pity we didn't get more, or any, of the fight effects, because they would have been good with our Death Touchers. It might actually be better to play Venom Sac Lagak early, just because I'd rather they kill that than anything else, than our Seeker. Since ideally we get to use the Seeker's exhaust ability. I did play Mario Kart, the original. That's how old I am. I played all the way up through Mario Kart 64, I think, was the last one I played like a lot of. I'm sure I've played randomly some of the more recent ones, but... Okay. Ooh, there's like a new animation for when people look at your cards. Interesting. So I can saddle this if I play the refueler. That's probably the best play. Lifecraft Engine's okay, but it's not really going to do a whole lot right this second. I think it's better to just play refueler and saddle Venom Sac Lagak. I don't have an artifact to destroy, so that doesn't upset me too much. Okay. Well, I think we just do this again. And then probably play out Skyseeker and Stampeding Scurryfoot. I guess maybe leaving this untapped is actually better, huh? Yeah, let's actually play them out, crew the Venom Sac, and then leave the refueler back. Just kidding. I mean, they have to double block it to kill it, which would mean I kill both of their things, so not too broken up about that. We do have 2 exhaust things in play, along with Elvish Refueler, which is pretty exciting. The engines have started. Well, there's a big boy. That might just be better than playing anything else. It probably is. I was thinking maybe I'd play Lifecraft Engine, but... or use an ability or something, like the Sky Serpent's ability. But now I think we just slam the Imperiosaur in our second main phase. We'll attack with Venom Sac again and then play Imperiosaur, yeah. That is the game plan here. I could just use this exhaust ability too, but the Imperiosaur seems good enough. If this made a dino, I'd probably do it, but... they might have something to kill our Venom Sac Lagak now, based on that pause. Yeah, I can make a 3-3 every turn, it's true. Maybe that's just better. And grow my Scurryfoot. You know? That might just be better, huh? That might just be better than playing the Imperiosaur, now that I think about it. Probably is. Especially because it might lure them into a bad attack. Yeah, let's pass. Let us pass. Leave up our abilities. I don't know, I kind of like the hover animation because if you're playing in person, you can usually tell when someone's looking at your card. I mean, maybe it's not quite as obvious as a hover animation, but it's there. It is weird seeing a new one, though, since it's been the same since, like, day 1. It's always, change is hard. Okay. We're going to do this. And I think we'll go ahead and block the Surveyor. I think we let this through. We'll take them to speed 2, which is less than ideal. Maybe I'm not even supposed to block. They get to speed 2 no matter what. If they have a trick... I guess we'll make them use said trick. They gotta kill our Refueler or Scurryfoot, I think. Otherwise, the game will get challenging. Okay. Well. Now I'm leaning towards... yeah, it does only work on my turn. That's true. That is a good point. So So I think we go ahead and saddle this with our refueler here. Then we're going to attack with everything. They clearly have something, but I think we should make them use that something. So, yeah, I think we spend our turn on the Scurryfoot's ability. Because even if they kill our Scurryfoot, we're going to get the creature, so... Yeah, so they still kill it. Their creature survives, but I still get a 3/3 out of the deal, so not exactly broken up about it. They are getting closer to full speed, max speed, which we don't have hardly any of in our deck, and that is the mechanic I'm most curious about, but at least we can learn about it from other people. I think we may have none of it, because we cut that elephant, didn't we? Well, that's not something I love to see. The new Goblin Rabble Master. So, I guess we'll block this. They're going to get to speed 3 either way, and this way I hold on to a 3/3, so... Yeah, we do have another mouse in our hand, which is nice. Oh, why are you showing up when we don't have blue? Probably means we're supposed to use Sky Serpent Seeker's ability at some point soon. I think maybe just playing the Imperiosaur and the other Scurryfoot is good here, though. Yeah, so we're gonna do this. Not this. Yeah, we'll do this. They're probably getting max speed next turn no matter, like, what I do. So I'm sort of considering swinging out here. Yeah, I think I'm going to swing out. Well, right now, there's nothing going on that max speed matters, but they could have something in their hand. So it's not that big of a deal right now, as far with the information we have, anyway. It's not a big deal. But it could be. It's pretty amazing that the Venom Sac Lagax still can't really be blocked effectively. I don't think it's going to line up this way every game, but 2/4 Death Touch turns out is just like an absolute beating. Against at least what our opponents have, this opponent has been doing. Alright, so Scurryfoot number 2. Followed by a big old dino. Yeah, we don't have any artifacts. That card's going to be better against most people than it is against us. Well, now they have a pretty gross payoff for it that they drew into thanks to cycling. I'm not sure they can kill us, though. Because, yeah, this will augment the damage of everything they have. Because they're going to get to max speed just when they attack. Question is whether they attack with more, and it looks like they do. So, these all do more damage now, which is very bad news. Very bad news. So what do we end up taking here? 3, 7, 10? But then we, like, win on the backswing, right? 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so we'll just... We should just win on the backswing. I guess they can draw a card if they really want to. Okay. Weon Ling probably not going to get to do her thing here. So if I attack with everything here, they're dead because I have enough going on with activated abilities and such. 3, 4, 6. Yeah, there's no way they're not dead. So I'm just going to swing with everything here. All right. Well, we won our first game. Nice little value engine stuff going on, thanks to the 3-mana 2/3 exhaust person. Okay, looking pretty good. We didn't get to play a Market Back Walker in that last one. We can play it on 3 with 2 counters this game, which seems pretty good to me. Probably better than playing out the Lagak. Also sets up this activated ability, so it's definitely better to play Optimizer here. I may just use the Scurryfoot's ability, because I can hold on to this until it gives me more value. Potentially, at least. Yeah. Well, definitely attacking with Scurryfoot. Oops. I kind of thought there was going to be another pause, but it's not like my opponent had any creatures, so why would there be? I think we still use the ability. It makes me look stupid, because I am. But sometimes it's easy to... sometimes it's wrong to... like, it's embarrassing to show... Although in this case, they had all the information, so they knew I could do it. It's sometimes you choose not to do something because you realize you made a mistake with a card in your hand, and it makes you feel bad when you get it wrong. But, yeah. Okay, so I'm probably going to wait till turn 6, mana 6, that is, to drop the Walker, because I can. And in the meantime, we will attack with our Elephant token. Yeah, we are fine with the trade there. And then we'll play out both Venom Sac Lagaks. Let's hope they don't have a way to punish us for having a bunch of X1s in play. Hello, CAX117. Thanks for stopping by and for all your comments on YouTube videos. Helping the algorithm. Yeah, Simic is ramp, but it's like less rampy generally. But yeah, it's like a ramp exhaust deck. Yeah, that's a big boy, but it can't really contend with these guys. And then we'll play out our Market Back Walker, where X is 3. So if this dies, I draw 3 cards. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Plus, I can put counters on it at instant speed using Guidelight Optimizer. It's a pity we don't have the elf that lets us redo exhaust abilities in play right now, huh? Because that was pretty gross. I do like the feel of the blue-green so far. I love sort of value engine type decks, and this deck definitely has that going on. I mean, if the hazard attacks us, we take it. That much is clear. Man, they milled their Achik, which is frustrating for them. They probably have a way to get her back, so it's probably not a disaster, but... chances are good they'd rather have her in their hand. Well, how do I feel about saddling? Yeah, I don't really need to. I think we just attack with both Venom Sac Legax and then leave up all of our mana. So I can save one of them with Defend the Rider if I want to. But honestly, I think trading for both of these is fine. So I think that's just what we'll do. I think we hold on to Defend the Rider for other purposes. Well, I thought about attacking with the Walker, but putting counters on it at the end of their turn and stuff is pretty good. We're only 1 mana away from being able to do it twice, which is cool. There's your Venom Sac Legac, huh? Alright, so we're definitely blocking here. Then we'll put a counter on this. If they... So, question here. Is it better to defend my Market Backwalker and keep it alive? Probably. I mean, drawing cards is good, but I'm not going to kill the Hazard of the Dunes if I let this resolve. So I think we go ahead and protect it. This also ends up killing the Hazard, obviously. Unless they burn another removal spell. But that's also okay for us in terms of cards. I mean, I would like to get rid of the Hazard because it can grow at some point soon, but... Okay. So, they did have the answer of sorts. Ow. Well... Let's see. So this is going to grow to a 7/7 in the very near future, which I don't love. I really don't love that. I think we attacked them with both of these. See what they do. And then we play out Imperiosaur, Lifecraft Engine. I could name Robot because it'll buff 2 things in the near future. But Dinosaur is better because if we draw our other vehicles... Well, I guess Muyan Ling is like our only other vehicle, huh? Alright, so at least they can't grow their Hazard this turn. That's a blessing. God, they have a Debris Beetle in their graveyard now, too. So they have Achik and Debris Beetle in their graveyard, which I'm not excited about either of those things. Reanimating either of those is pretty gross. So they're probably going to crew Venom Sac Legac. Grim Bauble. Yeah, you're going to kill my... Optimizer, probably. Guess I'm glad I didn't name Robot. They could send the Venom Sac Legac at me, but they decided not to. I guess it's a pretty good blocker. That is not really what I was hoping to draw. I guess I could have sent my Lifecraft Engine at them. but no, yeah, might have been worth it. Yeah, it probably would have been. They would have lost something or taken 4. Yeah, they're probably trying to find a reanimation spell, which they're bound to do eventually. So I'm sure they have 1 or 2 of them. All right, they threw both of those away. Yep, that makes sense. They still don't want to grow their hazard, which is interesting to me. I mean, this is the first turn they could do it, so they must have something better in their hand, unfortunately for us. Or maybe not. They just want to do it at instant speed, I guess. They only have 1 blocker, so like if I draw our bounce spell or something, that'd be cool. Nope. Drawing our bounce spell would have been pretty big, I think. Because we would have swung for lethal. Yeah, because this would have gone in. Oh, no, I'd have to tap both of these to crew it. So I would have only been able to do 10. So we're just going to end our turn. And now they're going to grow hazard. Things don't look great for us in this game, I think it's safe to say. They're like 1 recursive spell away from really getting an insurmountable advantage, and they're already in a better position than we are, so. We are 1-0 so far. This will get them to max speed. I kind of feel like I have to try to kill Hazard of the Dunes here. I am afraid of the 1 card they have in their hand, though. But we're going to give it a try. Oh, yeah, got both of those online. That's pretty sweet. Green doesn't have a whole lot of... Oh, my God. Well, there's a card that'll press the advantage. If we draw another land here, it is over. Yeah, it's over. It is over. I probably should have been slamming in with Lifecraft Engine earlier. I don't know that it would have won us the game, but... probably would have put us in better shape. They'd be at like 3 or something. Yeah, this mammoth is a beating. Yeah, Pothole Mole's gonna be real sweet. They milled 3 Venomous Legax in a row. What are the chances? Well, we're going to kill the mammoth, but... we're way too far behind for that to make a difference. Oh, it's not a... I can't actually kill the mammoth anymore anyway. Because I don't have my dino in play anymore. How sad. Yeah, alright. We'll block there. Well, that is not likely to save us. Ah, all right. That is game over right there. Broodwagon's so good. They probably... We never saw the reanimation spells, but I imagine they have to have them. Or at least recursion spells, if they're not reanimation. But yeah, their deck was good. They had a lot of really strong cards. Even our market backwalker situation wasn't enough. Ugh. I mean, it could be worse. We're on the draw. Good chance we draw green. But if we draw more green cards or more islands, it's pretty bad. I mean, I think we had the mulligan. All right, I will take this one happily. I guess we're going to put back the Lagac. We have other early plays. I mean, it's a better early play, but getting Refueler and Scurryfoot in play is too good. And I think holding on to Interaction is probably better. I guess, you know what? Let's keep one. Let's get rid of one Scurryfoot. That's probably okay. Yay, we drew blue mana. Well, there's Market Backwalker. Then we'll play our Lagac. Probably run out Refueler next turn. Yep. So yeah, we'll go Refueler. Saddle the Refueler. Hopefully next turn we get our 4th land for the Scurryfoot to get started. Death Touch Rat. We do not draw our 4th land, which is pretty sad. I think that means we just pass the turn. We can leave up Spectral Interference as well as our exhaust abilities. Not to mention Broken Wings. So I guess I don't hate the idea of sending in our Scurryfoot, although doing it when we have Refueler in play is a little sad, but like I wouldn't hate them trading for their Engine Rat. Yeah, I'll pass the turn, though. We'll leave everything up. 4th land would have been nice there, but you can only do what you can do, you know. Broken Wings destroys an artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. And unfortunately, we're against a color pair that doesn't have that many things that works against. So, I think we block like this. See what happens. We can Spectral Interference most things, including that. Oh, never mind. Not a trick. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm not too broken up about it. Alright, so we'll put a counter on this. Do I want to play Market Backwalker here, or is it better to play the Engineer and then have the Refueler's ability ready to use again? I have to use the ability now. Yeah. They have a response that's not going to be great for us. Wonder if I should leave up interference here rather than play this out, just because if I can counter whatever they try to add to the board here, I think we maintain a pretty good advantage. Of course, if we get the 5th mana, this can start growing every turn instead of the Refueler. Yeah, I think we're okay with getting hit for 4 again, and we'll be able to counter most other stuff. Now, if they play a removal spell, that's not going to be great news for us, but hopefully they don't. Of course, they play a thing that countering it doesn't really matter. I could have countered it, if only to delay them exhausting, but that doesn't seem great to me. It probably would have been better, in retrospect, to play our Engineer. I think it's safe-ish to say. So I think we attack, because even if they go, I can buff my Refueler and kill both blockers. So well, not if they do that. They keep playing things we can't counter, which may be this card's weakness, obviously. I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I think it's safe to say. The trade there. Sky Streak Engineer. I mean, waiting until I can play this with 3 power is, like, ideal. And if I do this, I can still leave up interference. And maybe it'll actually do something this time. I guess we'll see. In a world of exhaust, it is really easy to play around counter magic. So this might be worse than I'm expecting. Yeah, I mean, I think we just have to take 7 here. We have 2 cards that have effectively been dead, and we mulliganed. So that's a good way to lose a game of Magic. Let me tell you. Okay. Well, at least we can do this. But it means we're still dead, right? There's no way that I'm not dead. Because I'll get through for 3. So playing this out was probably better. Than drawing cards off a chump block is probably what we were supposed to do. So we'll cast it anyway. Why not? Maybe somehow they'll overlook that they have lethal. It's like we mulliganed to 4 in this game. Yeah, they had a lot of tricks that were backbreaking, that's for sure. Maximum Overdrive is pretty good as far as tricks. But yeah, I should have just played out the Walker that turn for 2. Because it was like, I was pretty dead on board anyway, so playing out the Walker for 2 and just being happy with a chump block draw 2, probably what I was supposed to do. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think that was an opponent who was especially immune to both Broken Wings and the Counterspell. So, yep, it is common. We've seen that trick before, more or less. The white version gave +1/+1 counter and lifelink instead of Death Touch. Right? Does it give Death Touch? Maximum Overdrive? I can't remember. It does. Yeah, that's why they were able to kill our much larger creature with Maximum Overdrive. So yeah, it's really good. I gave it a C+ in the set review, and a C+ for a trick is like, you know, an A. as far as the trick grading scale goes, that's a very good grade. Hard to ever go a lot higher than that on cards like that since they're as situational as they are, but the situations are good and are common. All right, let's keep 7. So we've got 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, which is pretty cool. We did get to go off with the Refueler once. The other time, not... Oh, God. This is not the card you want to see when you play a turn 1 Stampeding Scurryfoot. It's like the only card at a lower rarity that starts the engines on turn 1, for one thing. And for another... When it dies, it makes a 1/1. So blocking it with a Scurryfoot is miserable. Absolutely miserable. I think I gave a B-. There was a trick in some set that was 1 mana for +2/+2 trample and destroy an artifact or enchantment that I gave a higher grade to as well. Alright, we're going to rumble with our Skystreak Engineer. Now we'll play our Refueler. So next turn, we can start the use Stampeding Scurryfoot's ability every turn thing, which I think is generally what you want to do when you assemble this little combo. Rarely is it better to... I mean, it depends on what you draw, of course, but... No, I mean, there aren't very many tricks that ever get above a C+, even in retrospect. Mostly because they're too situational. You know, they're too reactive. Okay, so... Yeah, we're just going to play out a land, attack with Skystreak Engineer, and end our turn. That trick in New Capenna was nuts because it was +X+0 trample and indestructible and make a 1/1 citizen or something. Maybe I added the trample. It may not have done the trample part. But it was pretty nuts. I know it made a token. That part it definitely did. So it's interesting they're in green-white and they've got 3 artifacts in play. It's not exactly how you expect that to go. Thanks for stopping by, Standard Sven. It didn't do trample or indestructible? I'm that crazy? Huh. Is it really just +X+0 make a 1/1? So I definitely wouldn't give that a C+ now. Maybe I would. Adding to the board is a pretty big difference. right. This is definitely one where we're hoping to get our the card that can kill flyers or artifacts. That's for sure. Oh, that Tyvar trick is what I was mixing it up with. Yeah, that one was kind of crazy. Will it be better this turn to just spend my mana on this ability? Oh, okay. Well, playing out a Flying Death Toucher seems pretty good here. So maybe I play out Flying Death Toucher and Lifecraft Engine here. That's probably better than the alternatives. Yeah. I might name Elephant, since I could potentially get multiples, and having a 4/4. Well, that does mean I could attack this turn. Yeah, I like that. Elephant. Where? So I'm going to attack with the 4/4. They can take it down, but they have to do some things to do so. Yeah, they can double block with the Quick Welder and the Scouter, but if I get to kill Quick Welder, or if I kill the Nesting Bot, I'm pretty happy too, actually. I'm fine with killing both of these. This does replace itself, but this will shrink. So, you know. It'll shrink to 3 power. And then I can play Sky Serpent Seeker, which I think I would probably block the Synergist with. Alright, they do kill that. I'm going to go ahead and crew our Lifecraft engine. How do I feel about blocking that? I don't really feel like I need to. The only problem is speed could become a problem. It seems like our Seeker... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and block. The value from the Seeker is nice, but we're not, like, desperate. So, yeah. I think I'm okay with that. Thins out their board significantly. Okay, so I think we just crew this and attack them with it, and then play Imperiosaur plus Scurryfoot. I could just play Scurryfoot and leave up the activated ability, but it's hard not to want to add a 5/4 to the board right now. Does make me wish I'd named dinosaurs a while back, but, you know, what are you going to do? Well, their artifacts are cheap, that's for sure. So if I can get a double block, bounce off is pretty good. Be interesting to see what the one card in their hand is. So we get to kill a quick welder if they don't have an answer. That's funny. Okay. Well, now nothing happens, more or less. Well, they take some damage. But our creatures just bounce. Yep, definitely better to play the Imperiosaur again than use any of the exhaust abilities. Felonious Rage was, yeah, that was a sweet one. The 1 mana ones that make a body when the thing dies are always pretty nice. Why did they have to draw a Detention Chariot? Oh. I guess that makes sense. It's the only thing I'd be able to attack with for a while. We had our opponent cycle into, like, the card that, like, stabilized the game for him earlier, and now they found a Detention Chariot. Ugh. Being 1 mana shy of this when I have this ability online probably just means I should use this ability. Yeah. I'd rather play this as a 3/3 is my point. Well. Okay, I was going to say, I don't know what they have, but I'm a little scared. Look at that 4/4 elephant action. Well, now I don't have the same thing to do with my mana. I do have a Spectral Interference, which is likely to counter something, but it hasn't exactly gone that way for us so far. It probably is better to play the Walker and leave up the mana to add counters. I mean, add counters to it later if I have to. Yeah, we're going to play the Walker. I think not adding to the board at all is a bad call. Okay, well, I'll take that win. They must have just bricked on their draw and don't want to have an exciting game where I just add counters to our Walker and eventually win, but they were in pretty good shape, I think, so. Migrating Birds would be a little better. This hand looks fine. I have liked how this card's felt, and playing against it wasn't a whole lot of fun either, so. We're getting all of them. I do think we play out the Seeker. You know, there's a risk of it dying before we ever use its ability, but there's also a chance we get in for some hits in the air. Pretty good draw. So let's attack with both. I am interested in this card. I mean, I think it's probably, it might end up being like a build around. I don't think it's just like a really high pick, but it seems like if you've got enough vehicles, the fact it can crew like 2 a turn is some business, for sure. So next turn we'll have all of these abilities online if our Optimizer is still alive anyway, or if we draw a land, one or the other. So yeah. Not having a vehicle in play when you play this thing is a pretty big bummer, though. Like, you know, the fact that they ran it out and then the Scouter. Just because it doesn't do anything else. Like, if you don't have crewing to do, it may as well not exist. So, yeah. It can crew, I mean, defensively, right? But I don't think they're going to want to do that because I can just grow my things. I'd probably play the Walker as a 2/2 here if they don't block. If they do crew this, and and block with it, I'll exhaust instead, but... Kind of looks like they're going to, which I think we're fine with that. It gives us a 2-for-1 because we make a 3/3 elephant in addition to the block. They may have forgotten that our optimizer can pay. Oh yeah, the fact that they didn't slap that on the exhaust abilities is nice, yeah. It's like mutate or any of those abilities. Not mutate. What was the Simic last time we visited Ravnica? Like a real Ravnica set, the Simic mechanic? Augment or something? I can't remember what it was called, but you paid a mana cost and a creature gained counters. Alright, so there's a legit 2-for-1 there because they... Yeah, used up 2 cards. Okay. Well, I think we're supposed to play Imperiosaur here. So I'm going to swing with everything. Yeah, Monstrous. That's a comparison, too. So yeah, we just play this big boy out. A 5/4 is pretty legit right now. If I fail to draw a land again, I might play Hangerback Walker, but... Adapt, yeah, that's it. I do think people get way more riled up than they should about stat lines like this one. Because... Like, it's good-ish, but it's not that good. Like, it's, if, you know, and it's a lord. I mean, I just don't think it's as big of a deal as people think it is. They're still just creatures, you know? Well, let us attack with Imperiosaur. I guess Scurryfoot's kind of a free attack, because I would trade it for Ether Jacket in, like, a heartbeat. I don't hate the idea of trading the Seeker, either, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad card. It's just that vanilla stat lines aren't as big of a deal. Yeah, when removal is excellent, it just doesn't matter. Inter's triggers are something I think people should get upset about, because they're a little too good, but many of them are. But stat lines alone, not really. Okay, would have been nice to have our little trick here, but, you know, what are you going to do? Okay, well, maybe it's better to play out our Refueler, because then we can start the nonsense. They can kill our Optimizer, but I'm not... I think we just leave mana up for this, honestly. Getting the mana boost, I think, is going to be significant. Yeah, let's just end our turn and leave mana up for Optimizer. We're going to get to 5 lands if we do that, and then if the Optimizer's still alive, we can play the... Ooh, that card's scary. Don't play any vehicles or mounts, please. Gives them all haste. And animates them, crews them for free, saddles them for free on the first turn every time. So, I think if they attack me, I block with Sky Serpent Seeker and use the ability, like, no matter what. Yeah, Raffine is something you can complain about. Agreed. Agreed. Okay, so yeah, we'll go ahead and use this ability. Grab a couple of lands. You can only activate that as a sorcery, so you can't take out my optimizer with Ether Jacket now. I think holding on to the Death Toucher is, like, pretty worth it here. Just because it can block any scary vehicle that they might play. So let's play out our Hangerback Walker. They can blow it up with this, but we draw 3 cards if that's what they do. And then we'll also play out another Scurryfoot. I think I might be calling this Hangerback Walker constantly. I wish it was Hangerback Walker. That card's even better. Only 1 mana to add the counters, and you get Thopters instead of cards when it dies. God, that card's good. That's why it sees play in Vintage and Legacy and Modern and Pioneer and Standard. Everywhere. It's one of those cards where in my top 10 I say, it sees play in every format it's ever been legal in. The other Walker that this one's based off of. So, like, yeah, they can kill... Ooh, yeah, that's a little annoying. Thunderhead Gunner. I'm curious to see how that card plays, for sure. Okay, so we're up to 7 mana, which means I can start using one of these every turn. Or use this every turn. I can also play out the Hazard, just because it's bigger. I can play out both. Yeah, let's play out the Hazard. Yeah. The Refueler's nice, but I still haven't actually used either of these exhaust abilities, so it's not exactly crucial. Plus, I can leave up the Marketback Walker's ability to grow. So, they're probably going to kill our Optimizer, which is sad. I don't know where our opponent went. Or if it's frozen on me for some reason. It's not looking good, though, is it? Something's wrong. Gonna be pretty annoying if we don't get to finish out this game, because it's an interesting one. Should I reset the client just to be safe? Yeah, I think I have to reset the client. Oh, I just clicked concede. Hopefully it doesn't... I have to Control-Alt-Delete my way out, apparently. What the heck is going on? It just ended task? There we go. It's like that game never happened. I mean, that's better than a loss, but... pretty annoying that we don't get any... We don't see what happens with that game. I think we were going to win it. Oh, well. It's like a free game. Just look at it like a free game. We'll just chalk that one up as a win. And... move on. We played this person already. Alright, looks pretty good. It's just a bonus game. You know, it was a bonus. Better than a loss, like I said, but, like... yeah, there's no guarantee we were going to win that game, but we were in pretty awesome position thanks to a slew of things. I think we're okay with a trade here. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. I could use Defend the Rider, but... that seems unnecessary. Ooh, I see why they did it now, though, because now they get to break our momentum and start the speed, and now we don't have anything. That card's pretty good when you can set it up to be removal. It'll be interesting to see if our opponent can actually make this card work. I have my doubts. Oh, drawing a 4-drop here was good. Let's hope they don't have another momentum breaker. And they do get better in multiples. Looks like they kept a tough hand. We're just gonna keep the pressure on with a couple of 4/4s. This is going to be a creature at some point, but then they need to crew it. Now we don't have mana for Muyan Ling. How sad. Does Defend the Ridering make sense here? Not really. I mean, yeah. So let's name Worm. I guess Mount is actually something we have multiples of, so it makes more sense to name Mount. So they're going to now have an active The Last Ride after taking 9 here. Now it's a 6/6 vehicle, but it has crew 2. They gain 1 life here. We should have lethal, because I can at least make... a pilot and then crew Lifecraft Engine. And if they try to use removal, I can protect my creature, which will also give us lethal. So I think we're okay either way. Dune Drifter, X equals 1. So they can get their creature back. Okay, that's pretty... They get their Death Touch creature back. They're still dead, though. Yeah, if I make a pilot here. They take lethal. Well, this one will actually count, so that's good. Yeah, our opponent kept a tough hand. They kept a tough hand because they wanted to play with the Last Ride, I think, which I don't blame them, I guess. But the way you want your life to get low usually isn't by your opponent building out a way better board state than you know? Sure, their last ride would have been crewable, but... You've missed a few games, but not like a million. Yeah, Muyan Ling is not worked out very nicely, but that's okay. His hand looks pretty good. Probably play out Venom Sac Lagak before anything else, because then it can be crude, and I'd rather have it die than Skyseeker Serpent, like I said earlier. Might just name Mount on turn 3 with Lifecraft Engine, depending on what they play. So they could have Counter Magic up. But I kind of think that's okay. Like, if they counter Lifecraft Engine, so be it. Yeah, so we'll name Mount. That is what we have the most of. It might be about to kill it, though, anyway. Oh, well. Fog and draw a card, anyway. This deck is probably the one I'm most excited about, the blue-red one, but I don't love that, like, the best payoffs are both uncommon. Like, there's one uncommon in each color that's, like, nuts, the ones that can grow. Okay, well, we're going to go Sky Serpent Seeker, Vanguard, crew this. We've got 2 abilities we can use. Okay, Lorna. For some reason, that doesn't worry me very much. So let's play out our Imperiosaur. Crew this. Back with everything. Yeah, Yanling would be nice. Stock up. I hope I get to cast that card a lot in this format. Top 5 cards, choose the 2 best ones is pretty strong. They have 2 vanillas in play now. Including one that can even trade with our Imperiosaur. Or our Lifecraft Engine, either one. So let's play Market Back. Crew Lifecraft Engine. Tag with everything again. Yeah, Muyan Ling would be a sweet draw, that's for sure. Flood the Engine's pretty good against Market Back Walker. That's one of the few removal spells that are functional, is functional. But the great thing is, even if I flood out here, I have 2 activated abilities. Of course, this one doesn't keep me from flooding out. Not really, anyway. The Vanguard does. This one just keeps getting me more lands. What's weird, like, yeah, they're not playing green, then it would make a little more sense that they have these 2, but I do think this is perfectly playable, actually. Ooh. So is Spike Shell Harrier. That card's sweet. That is a sweet card. Okay. Well. Let's play... It's Crew 3, right? Yeah. Let's play our Market Back Walker again. And attack with both of these. End our turn. Ooh, Hull Drifter's sweet, but luckily they can't crew it right now. They have, like, such a dirtily deck. We didn't have our fastest start ever, but we're still doing fine. I think it's probably better to just play another walker when they have so few bodies on the board. Just playing another walker is probably better. I was gonna say, don't you want to block market back? Yeah, so we'll play out the other market back. Some of the vanillas I think are good. Kaelorna is not one of the ones I think is good. Yeah, there's a Flood the Engine. It doesn't mean Kaelorna can, like, never help you win a game. Ooh, that's pretty gross. So now they can actually crew and stuff. This will shrink to a 1-2. This will shrink to a 0-1, although it can use its ability, and then it doesn't really shrink. Yeah. This card's bad when you're playing against somebody who has the 1-mana spells in the format that can kill it, but we are not one of those someones. So... Do I use this ability? 4, 5, 6, 7. It's probably better to play Stampeding Scurryfoot and leave its ability up. Because the land's inter-tapped. If they'd blocked, I would have, because then I would get Death Touch online. But they didn't block, so... But this card is pretty good against us, because we just don't have very much interaction. Yeah, Walker checks counter. Ooh, that card's good. Luckily, their speed is at 0. Well, it's at 1 now, but you know what I mean. Now it's at 2. Yeah, we might lose this thing. I can tell you it's not going to be because of Kaelorna. Like, you know. Kaelorna is better in this matchup than she is in most. But, yeah. We're going pretty wide. We are up to 8 mana, which is good news for Market Back Walker. But it's not such good news for everything else. This thing is, you know, very good against... This thing is really a problem, basically. The Vanguard lets me look at cards top 3 and put a permanent in my hand. So, yeah. So I think the Kaelorna is also pretty good against Market Back Walker because it gives them a way to block it that doesn't kill it or kill their thing. So I think we just attack. Maybe we're just done attacking and we're supposed to be using activated abilities. Yeah, that's probably where we are. Unfortunately. people will see this draft video and be like, CK Lauren is not an F, but I can tell you when the data comes out, she's an F. There's a tiny chance she's like a D or something in like the right deck, but being a 0-8 is real bad. Yeah, if I activate this, it makes it easier to use my other abilities, that's for sure. Even though, ooh, Boosted Sleuth is so good. Even though it doesn't work immediately. Yeah, well, we probably will use the Sky Serpent Seeker's ability. It still means we can put a counter on Market Backwalker, rather. Well, I think we block Hull Drifter here and use the ability. They may have the heavy, which will keep their creature alive. Their Hull Drifter alive. I do like Keen Buccaneer. Looks like a nice common. It's like, I'd be happy to just pay 5 for that ability, for that creature, with the enters trigger being draw a card, put a counter on this. And it's like way better than that. Now, Venom Sac Lagak is going to be a pretty good attacker here. So we're going to have to deal with flying. I mean, they're going to be able to get max speed. And if that happens, this Spike Spitter is going to be a real problem. I can grow Market Backwalker to a 6/6 right now. They're still 2 turns away, obviously, from having Spike Spitter fully capable. They can't just grow this into a huge flyer, though. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a kind of creature where, like, if you play against someone who doesn't have any removal, like us, it's pretty freaking good, especially if you can stall the game out because, you know, it's huge. And has vigilance, etc. Why not attack with your engineer, too? I guess you're worried about taking lethal. I suppose that's a reasonable concern. I wonder if Beast Rider Vanguard's ability is better here than Market Backwalker's. The only thing about Market Backwalker is I can grow it to an 8/8 on my next turn, and they have to block it. So, the question is whether it'll be too late, but it probably won't be. So I think we use Market Backwalker. Our 1 bounce spell would have been nice here, but what are you going to do? So yeah, we'll attack with Market Backwalker, which will force the block. Oh yeah, I can attack with Venom Sac Lagak too. Yeah, I still have 8 mana up. So yeah, let's play Guidelight Optimizer. Ooh, I just realized my Hanger Backwalker's power is going to be shrunk. The Lagak should still attack, but I don't think it makes any sense to attack with Market Backwalker. Problem is, I'm going to be dead very soon, so it sort of feels like I need to do something, but the things I can do... I mean, I guess the Vanguard's ability is probably going to be better here. Chances are good they just take one, but it does open things up for us a little bit. If my Vanguard could hit our bounce spell, that'd be great, but it can't. Ever. Yeah, the Walker will bounce off Kael'Orna. Next turn that won't be true, but man. Yeah, I guess we're going to end the turn. Not loving things, though. Yeah, Kael'Orna's an A+. Yeah, I mean, the only thing is if our opponent had played... Ooh, 2 damage to each creature, huh? That is brutal. Okay. Probably means we lose. I think it's safe to say. Yeah, you know, I've lost to many cards I've given Fs to, but that doesn't mean they're not Fs. Very few Magic cards are entirely useless. Oh, what I was going to say is, like, if they'd played a 2-mana 2/2 earlier, they would have taken a lot less damage, but obviously they're in such good shape now that it doesn't really matter. So now they're going to draw an extra card every turn, as if we weren't in a bad enough situation. Yeah. Yep, even the worst cards usually have a 40% win rate. It's true. You would have been good a while ago. I could have kept up with their value nonsense. They do have to block, so let's make them. But yeah, we lose. And Kael'Orna partly won them the game. So did Sabotage Strategist. Card I also don't love, but like I said, against a deck with no removal like ours, this is where that trample trick would have been good, huh? No, not really. It still wouldn't have done enough damage. But yeah, the Strategist plus Kael'Orna, in this particular game, it looked pretty good. We get to kill Kael'Orna before we die. Yeah, nice scoop. So what, we went 3-3 even though it was sort of 4-3 because we had one game taken away from us?